Yes, there are. There are differences by country and differences by level. So data shows that students in Asia are much more interested in the rankings and make more decisions using the rankings when they choose a university. I think students in North America and Europe are also increasingly ranking aware. It's an easy source of data. Instead of reading lots of different websites, they can look at a linear list and perhaps at least define where down to a few universities, and then perhaps look at websites afterwards. So sometimes the ranking is the first way of making decisions. Other students perhaps use it the other way around, so they look at a number of websites and then, having chosen 3 or 4 universities, they will then use the rankings to narrow the choice and make a final decision. So it does vary. I think the research shows that actually they use many. So students, when I've interviewed, for example, PhD students, and I realise that's quite a sort of niche area, but PhD students are quite savvy, and they tend to use the QS ranking, the Times Higher ranking, US News and World Report, and the Shanghai Jiaotong ranking. So there are at least 4 rankings that they're using, and when you actually say which one do you use, they don't remember. So and then when you name them, they tend to say, oh, actually I think I used all of them. So they're not very brand aware in terms of which ranking they prefer, which is quite interesting. I think they're probably just hitting the word Google, hitting into Google the word ranking, and they go through them and use what comes up first. In terms of which is the most useful from my knowledge of the method, I think that the Shanghai Jiaotong, because it doesn't include reputation, is perhaps less relevant to students than it might be to, say, academics. It's very much driven by academic data and the number of Nobel Prize winners and the wealth of the institution, whereas the advantage to the Times Higher and the QS is that it actually at least includes a reputational element. So QS, for example, is using employers' views of the quality of the students coming out of the university. So that gives them a depth of detail and relevance to students that would not be included in the Shanghai Jiaotong ranking. I think students play a big role, either in putting other students off or attracting them. If they don't like the institution, if they've had a terrible time, they can blog about it, they can moan about it on Facebook. They can cause a lot of damage, as it were, for the university to be able to recruit the next tranche of students. However, most students do have a good time and are usually in a happy position to recommend the institution. And universities should be alive to the potential of students as a voice to recommend the institution, to help potential applicants navigate. So universities are tending to employ students to write blogs, to answer questions that are put up on Facebook, to be the first line of response. I'm worried about safety. Will I fit in? Is it going to be too academically difficult? The students really are best placed to offer advice, reassurance, which is the best place to live. The student voice, again, is the best to answer those questions, and universities are really using students as the best communicator in the actual conversion of prospects into students.